Joining me now is retired naval officer and U.S. Navy SEAL, Jason Redmond. Jason, great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show. The president has mentioned that he plans to meet Vladimir Zelensky tomorrow during his visit to The Hague. Earlier today on Air Force One, a reporter asked President Trump what message he had for the Ukrainian president, and here's what he had to say.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelensky when you're there?
Yeah, probably. I'll see him. Yeah.
What would you say to him?
Say, how you doing? He's in a tough situation. Should have never been there.
Do you think Zelensky will ask for another blank check from the American taxpayers? And how do you think the so-called 12-day war between Israel and Iran has changed the equation for Ukraine and Russia?
Well, I think there was no doubt about it. When we sent that mission over into Iran, it was a two-part thing, obviously supporting our allies in Israel and also to take Iran off the table as a nuclear power. The accomplishment of that with what they did was absolutely astounding. The deception operation, flying our bombers, obviously, to the west. But the reality is the real bombers went all the way around the world and made that attack on Iran. I honestly feel like that was a tremendous power projection to the entire world. I mean, we basically announced, hey, China, Russia, we have the ability to do this. If you want to continue to flex your muscles in other areas of the world, we have the ability to counter that. Hopefully that also sends a message to the Ukrainians that, hey, we're going to have to find some balance here. Russia may step back, we would hope, and that would be the message that they receive because they can't continue to run unchecked if United States interests feel that, hopefully we don't step in, but that's where I stand on that.
Well, Zelensky obviously needs help. He needs money. He needs weapons. He needs support. But what the president wants is an end to the conflict. And I think most people in that region would want the same thing. I mean, how many people have to die before these two can figure out a way to stop killing each other? What are your thoughts on where this conflict between Ukraine and Russia might actually head from here forward?
Obviously, the Ukrainians are in a hard place. They fought an amazingly valiant war. I'm super impressed with everything they've done. They've really shown what a very small, disciplined, determined people can do, leveraging a lot of unique technologies, leveraging special operations. I mean, so many of the missions they did, the drone strike that penetrated deep into Russia, what a testament to them. But at the end of the day, they can't continue to fight by themselves. They are going to need the support. They're going to need weapons. They're going to need munitions. In order for us to bring this to an end in a ceasefire, that is going to be totally dependent on Russia, on Vladimir Putin. I know President Trump is pushing hard for that. He wants to see peace. None of us want to continue to see war over there. But at the end of the day, if Vladimir Putin continues to fight and Russia continues to fight, I guess the decision will come from our president. Do we allocate resources to continue to support Ukraine?
Yeah, that is a tough call to make. I want to get back to Operation Midnight Hammer, which you referenced a short time ago. I saw some animation of what those B-2 bombers did, heading the opposite direction. And like you said, going around the world to drop those bombs. 7,000 miles and then back again, most of them not really stopping, just getting refueled over and over again in the air. Was that one of the things that impressed you the most, or was it the fact that they were able to get in and out of the airspace without ever taking a shot from the ground?
It was a combination of both. I mean, I think that was our ability to fly into sovereign airspace undetected and undeterred. Obviously, the Iranians have a robust air-to-ground system. They have a robust AAA system, their ability to detect what's going on in the skies, the ability. Now, the Israelis degraded this a tremendous amount, so they softened up the battle space for us to be able to fly in there. But even then, Iran was well aware. Iran still had multiple batteries. They had the ability to do this, and our capabilities to plan this, fly around the world, fly across the Middle East, fly into Iran, and hit the crown jewel of their nuclear facilities is an amazing testament to the capabilities of the Department of Defense and my fellow service members. I mean, I'm no longer doing that anymore, but I will admit, man, it put a big smile on my face when I saw it. So salute to those pilots and to everyone who executed that operation.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with the military. Was never in the military, but it was impressive to me too. And I also, take my hat off to what they accomplished. And like you said, it does send a message to the rest of the world. I know you've deployed to the Middle East, and there seems to be a debate about whether or not Iran is a threat to America, or if we should have just allowed them to develop nuclear weapons. I also made several trips to Iraq and Afghanistan during conflicts there, and saw firsthand what Iran was doing to our troops on the ground. So, to me, there's no debate about whether or not Iran hates America and is willing to kill Americans, but I'd like to get your thoughts on this.
Rick, you nailed it. I mean, my entire adult life, Iran has been a problem. I mean, as a very young child, obviously, with the Iran hostage situation, which led to the birth of the Special Operations Command, which I would ultimately later be a part of, to the Beirut bombing. My very first platoon chief was in Lebanon and reported that attack and talked to me about the carnage of trying to sift through that rubble and look for saved lives and all these Marines who were killed in that blast, and the continuation throughout the years of Iranian using proxy fighters throughout the region to totally destabilize the Middle East, always continuing to call out the great Satan and little Satan. The United States of America was always the great Satan. Israel was the little Satan. It was their purpose to eradicate us. Fast forward until when I was in Iraq in 2007, we knew there were Quds Force commanders on the ground in Iraq purposely looking at how they could attack us and supplying weaponry, those EFPs, who were specifically designed to penetrate our armor in Iraq. On July 6, 2007, I had teammates. Our sister troop was attacked in Sadr City by Iranian EFPs. We lost 3 guys that night, 3 tremendous Americans that's directly responsible for the Iranians. So I tell you what, I have no love lost for the Iranians. I think they are a very clear and present danger and an existential threat to not only Israel and many members of the Middle East, but to the United States. And given anything that they could do, they would gladly try and eradicate us and Israel.
Okay, so knowing that they want to kill Americans, they want to kill Israelis, they want the death of Israel, knowing that, and knowing that they have lied repeatedly and been our enemy for decades, is it even possible that there could be peace between Iran and Israel? Is it even possible that any kind of negotiated ceasefire could last?
Well, we delivered a very clear message to the Iranians. And really the question becomes, what does the Ayatollah want to do? I mean, he's in the latter years of his life. I mean, I know his son is being looked at, the successor. I do think that Iran will continue. They're not going to change. I don't expect that unless there is a total regime change, although I don't think the United States should be involved in it. That is where our Middle Eastern leaders need to step up. For all these years, they've tolerated this with all these Middle Eastern or all these Iranian proxies. Israel has done an amazing job since October 7th of dismantling the Iranian proxy fighters that are out there. So now I think it is up to the rest of the Middle East to pressure the Iranians to come to come up with a better government system, whether that's regime change or whether that's the new theocracy that comes in play after the Ayatollah passes.
Jason Redmond, it's great to see you. I appreciate your service and your sacrifice, and I hope all Americans applaud you and your fellow service members for doing the job that most of us will not do. Thank you again.
Rick, my honor. Thanks for having me on.